opening day. And although I was there yesterday for Industry Day, I'm here to tell you we got some good news to share about this Super Show versus last year. You do not want to miss a single minute of this show tonight. If we're meeting for the first time, howdy, my name is Scott. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Go Small, Live Large, all about the camper van travel experience. I am coming at you from a street. I've actually had to leave the fairgrounds because they're not letting people without reservations stay in the fairgrounds. I cannot figure it out. But so if you hear street noise, that's what it's about. I'm literally urban camping tonight. All right, let me roll through some of the topics tonight. And I got some surveys we're going to share right away. So here's the topics for tonight. And if you're joining us for the first time, just a big howdy and a welcome. Type in NEW. That will help us give you a shout out for those folks that are new. We have some regulars in here already, which is great. And it's great to have everybody in here. So we're going to do innovations of the Super Show. I've got 4, I think, or maybe 5 topics we're going to cover with some detail. If you've been to the show, please chime in. And if you haven't and won't be, what are you still looking for? Because we've got a few more days to go. Libation Live tonight is an imported logger. I'm keeping it easy because I'm on the street. And Song of the Week. I wonder if you've heard this song before. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, let me show you my surveys. So these have been done over the last 3 days. I'll zoom in here for you because I'm kind of curious to see what you are thinking about regarding the biggest RV show in the nation. And the first question was, what are you expecting to see from this week's Super Show? Innovative floor plans, I'm glad to see, is number 1, followed by lower prices, build quality, adventure van style camper vans, and improved availability. So I am happy to say we're going to address all those in spades tonight because they're being addressed at the show, which is pretty awesome. Earlier today, I was curious about which big brand camper van you're most interested in. What I should have said is biggest volume. This isn't about the size of the brand or the impact. I was going for volume. So which big volume camper van brand are you most interested in? Kind of curious. Winnebago, leading the pack here by Coachmen. I wonder if you would agree with that or not. And then just a few hours ago, which small volume camper van are you most interested in at the Florida Super Show this week? Roadtrek, and the Wingamm is still way out there, which is pretty great. Met those guys. We got a huge weekend with them coming up, followed by Roadtrek, Storyteller, Overland, and met all those teams today. So we've got some great new content coming up for you on that. So just curious if any of that is news to you. I'm in a kind of a low light environment tonight, again, because I'm literally on a city street. So that's the purpose of not trying to light up everything really well. And it's hiding my bags under my eyes, which are getting darker by the day. Hey, camper van tips, send them in. We've got some good ones, and we're going to hopefully start this next month. Camper van tips, a lot of the great tips that I've incorporated to my van travel have come from you. So bring those in. This is the email. Let me zoom in here for you. And GSLL viewer recommendation at Gmail is where you want to send those. And for those of you who've been around a little bit, you know, we have a tip jar, and we certainly appreciate your tips. It largely pays for my libation live habit, but every dollar helps support the channel because this is what I do for a living. So I don't have a corporate job anymore, thank goodness. But I'm far from retired. Never been working so hard in my life. Libation Live, let's see, it's coming up here. We might start early because it's been a super long day. We're doing Heineken, the world's most favorite lager that is available anywhere on earth and always tastes the same, which is pretty cool. But it's really also about me sharing some stuff, but taking your questions live. And if you can help me out by using this question format, that's 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks. That helps me find your question and answer it more quickly. If you need some ideas, boy, there's a lot of ideas on the table tonight. These might be in your wheelhouse, and it's really a community discussion tonight. What that means is you can feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I'm just the guy running the show, but often you all talk amongst yourselves. We got a big crowd here tonight. This is great already. I will say hi to some regulars here in just a minute. Let me tell you where I'm coming at you from. Let me zoom back in. That's my van, the brown one there with the brush guard and the American flag. That's Miss Lily, just turning 104,000 miles, probably in the next few days. This was the, are you ready for this? This was for the media parking lot. They kind of do the parking lots by color. You know, there's red and this is the white parking lot. I'm like, couldn't you guys come up with another name besides white parking lot. It's like, what? Anyway, this is a view from looking out the cab from the rooftop. And if I turn around on the ladder, don't break my neck. That's what I was looking at. The place was packed. It was just packed today. And this was about 11-ish in the morning, maybe 11-ish, I would say. So the big crowd had already started, but that's 3 gates wide, and they're about 10 deep per gate on the first day of the show. So that is really good news, I think. And I had a good source tell me that the pre-sale ticket sales were 17% above 2019. Now think about that. That was pre-COVID. So 17% more ticket sales pre-sold before 2019. Let me show you where I'm coming at you from. In case you don't know where Tampa is, it's on the Gulf side of Florida. Florida's like a big, I don't know. It sticks up way out in the ocean, right? Miami's on the other side. And that's where we're coming at you from, Tampa Bay. I love Tampa Bay. I actually prefer it more than the Gulf or than the Atlantic side. So this is today's highs. It was 78 on the high today. If you look at Butte, Montana, the high today there was 14. Oh, my goodness. It's pretty toasty in Texas already, but we always like to share that. The gasoline. So gasoline's about $3.14 to $3.49, 35-cent spread. Housing, it's kind of an industrial area where the Florida State Fairgrounds are. So not a lot of houses. And those houses, you would be like, that's costing me $250,000 to $1 million or $500,000 because they're pretty small houses. But hey, people call them home, so we got to respect that. It's actually kind of cool. It's almost a little, what's the right word? Rural, just a little bit out here by the fairgrounds. So there's a couple more things. We're going to get into the meat of the matter tonight. And that is What's Up Wednesday. We've got guests coming up. We've got some really cool guests over the next couple months. So we're going to be adding to this list. If you have an idea, send it in. More so if you have a contact at one of your ideas, that would be super helpful. Find me on Instagram. Man, I've not even made an Instagram post yet this week. Too busy making videos. I don't know. Where you're watching from, we always like to know where you're watching from. And if we have a new country joining the program, please type that in. And that will get us get your flag on the map, which this is kind of a global program. I'm kind of happy to say. We'd love to see Africa. We'd love to see South America. There's a big old country. Anyway, yeah, you get the point. Okay, so what else we got to do tonight? We're going to say hi to some regulars, and then we're going to get into the meat of the matter. We're going to share some van events. So let's just say hi to a few folks right out of the gate. We've got K3 from Wisconsin. Good to see you. There's Louisville Steve. Rich is in the house. Thanks for watching the premiere, both of you. Frisco T's in the house. Good to see you. 67. It's warmed up here a little bit in Florida. It was really lovely. It was almost chilly at night. Our Mason Mike, he's packing his Travado to head east to the Florida van life gathering. We got Delvey is in the house. Thanks for joining from the premiere a few minutes ago. Sharon, good to see you. Sherry Weber, always good to see you. Appreciate that. There's Roger and Jane. Awesome folks in Byron, Illinois. And Roads of Life, good to know that you are not calling in sick to watch Woo. You're just watching. Good job, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got Justin in the house. Tuning in down Lakeland, Florida. Yeah, that was literally just over the hill here a little bit, right? And let's see, just a few more. And here's Doris in the house. Spring Hill, Florida. A lot of Florida folks. This is great. Gary, that might be a new name. Grenada. Good to see you. Sparks, always good to have you here, sir. Oh, he's at a harvest host. Good job. Lyle. Great weather in Tampa, I see. Yeah, it's kind of endless summer, always usually in Florida. There's Danny in the house. Industrial exit strategist. So that's a new one. Welcome, sir, or ma'am. It's great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Hopefully you'll make this part of your weekly schedule. Here's another new one. This is great. This is Richard Howdy from Miami Springs. Assuming that's down by Miami, maybe. I don't know. Here's Gary, also new. We'll be at the Super Show. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Gary, thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate that. Here's Catherine from Palatine in Chicagoland. Greg's in the house tonight. That's awesome. He makes awesome screens for the cab windows. I've been using them here. Gives a little bit of fresh air security. And if you want some really awesome bug screens and keeps creeps out too for your van, go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com. Click on the products tab under the more, and you can shoot an email off to Greg and get a pair of these awesome screens. Doris, we're going to cover this in spades here in just a moment, so I'm going to ask you to hang tight on that question. I've got a few things to share with you, and here is, thank you for using the question format. Do you think you can get Volta and Wingamm together? I will tell you that I made an introduction. They fired a note off to the CEO of Wingamm in Italy, and I have offered my services to keep the conversation going. The good news is that many of you have pressuring, that's the word I'll use, Wingamm, to get Volta specifically. That's the word you're all using, is Volta. So when I introduced Jack Johnson, CTO and co-founder of Volta 2, Tony, he's the GM for the distributorship here in the U.S., he's like, people are asking for Volta in the Wingamm. So we made the connection. We got to keep it fresh, and we'll see where that goes. And here's Matthew. Thank you for a jingle in a jar, $20. That helps go a long way. I'm wearing my glasses tonight because, man, I am just so tired. Okay. So here's John's new. Have you heard of the Cinderella incinerator toilet? No. Could be a great alternative. Maybe. It's interesting. We'll have to check that out. Here's a Van Can Do. Interested in Roadtrek Private Slumber. We're actually going to do a Roadtrek van in the morning. If you haven't seen my video I did on Rangeline, we did 2 of them. Want to walk through them with the product manager on that. So you want to see that from the Hershey show a couple months ago. I probably won't do another Rangeline because I'll go check it out tomorrow, but it probably hasn't changed that much. And it doesn't have Volta, so not interested. All right, let's shift gears. We're going to say hi or do van events quick and then get down to the meat of the evening. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Super Show at the Winnebago Lazy Days booth in the Travado display, we're meeting up at 11 a.m. to 12 noon. And Jack Johnson, CTO and co-founder of Volta, will be joining us to take all your lithium questions. We're expecting a pretty good turnout, and Winnebago by far has had the best display I've ever seen. They've got their Class A's, their Class C's, their Class B's, all their towables. They really, you'll see a video in the morning, I think, on that. Can give you a walk around their booth. They really did a nice job this year. I'm really happy for Winnebago. Probably the best one of all of them, I would say. Let me zoom in here for you. This camp out is coming up really fast, ladies and gentlemen. February 3 to 5. It's 2 nights, 3 days in Central Florida. It's going to be so much fun. We've got about 30 vans in our tribe showing up. They're expecting close to 300 vans. You don't need a van if you want to join us for the day of fun on Saturday or Sunday. I'm doing a workshop on urban camping on Saturday. If you want to get tickets, this is the URL to go to, floridavanlife.com. Use the savings code GSLL15 to get 15% off, and that'll also kind of put you with our group, which would be great. Texas Van Breathe, that has been sold out for some time, so no more vans for that, but we do have a few spaces left for the day of event in Lukenbach. So if you want to join us for that, just hit up the Eventbrite link. This is all on my website, and you can join us for that. We are going to have a rocking time, and it's the first of many campouts for the year. And of course, if you like videos on van stuff, subscribe to the channel. All right, with that, let's get into the meat of the matter tonight. I'm really excited to share this with you. We've got a big group in here. Let me take a drink of water. I'm so dehydrated. I must have walked 5 miles today and 5 yesterday, and heat was not much water. Okay, so here we go. You ready? So here's what I want to discuss with you and get your feedback on. So there's 4 distinct things I want to cover from what I saw today and yesterday. Yesterday was not open to the public, so we got a little more time with some of the vans. And today we got a little more time with the vans. So I want to break this out for you in a couple different ways. Number one is innovation. So let's talk about innovation and what I saw. And I'm pretty happy this year compared to last year. Last year was like, what is going on? Everybody copied everybody else on a floor plan, and they called it, and they raised the price. That was it. This year, I'm happy to say there's some really new stuff. So if you saw the video we just posted, this is on the Winnebago Plus Adventure Wagon Collaborative Edition. This is on a not fully extended, the giantest Sprinter, but it's on the big Sprinter. And what it is, it's a van with no floor plan. And I'm kind of proud of Winnebago trying something different here. It was probably a little tough with them to, I'm guessing, collab a little bit with a company that kind of makes vans too. I haven't seen them do that before, but see the video I just posted. It's a quick walkthrough, but then if you want a little bit more in-depth, Hank Strange, Stranger Palooza did a fairly thorough walkthrough, about 30 minutes, with Chris Beanert. He's the Class B product manager for this very product. He gave you some information there. You'll want to see, including a price. And I hope I heard it wrong, because if they think they're charging that amount for this van, we still didn't have any plumbing. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. But anyway, it's a pretty cool rig, right? So they're trying something new, and that's the point. This is the power plant. It's an EcoFlow lithium battery. It's got about almost 3,000 watts stored in this thing. So it's pretty cool. Zoom back out for you. You're basically getting a well-built floors, walls, ceiling system, and then you kind of put in all the stuff via the L tracks. It's got some interesting use cases. And if you're a DIY person, the hardest part is kind of done for you probably. And what it comes with is a dealer network and a warranty, and you probably get insurance more easily because it's RVIA and compliance and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool there. Oh, there's my thing again. Here's the bag. So there's no cabinetry in this thing. And again, it's a cool experiment. Limited edition collaboration. So they're kind of rolling the dice, see what happens here. So that was kind of interesting. Not for everybody for sure, but that was interesting. Wait till you see this. This, I'll zoom in for you. Now the color here is a little off, but they're actually orange, like international alert orange. That you're looking at closest to you is a Solstice. A Solus, and the one in the back is a Travado. So again, Winnebago being pretty bold here. Now, if you want to stick out at every place you drive to, this is exactly the color you want. It's pretty cool, I have to say. Nothing's different on the inside. That's just the exterior. Big old thing says, "Hey, exterior, what's new?" The exterior. But they were pretty cool. You got to see them in person. This isn't doing it justice, unfortunately. The other thing that was really cool in the innovation space is this. This is their Winnebago's ERV2. This is their prototype. They apparently have 3 of these. They're on a 6-month testing of these vehicles. They unveiled this morning, so we got no time with the team yesterday. This was the team this morning. It was swarmed by the Winnebago team, media. They're the guy in the teal shirt in front. That's Russ Garfin. He's kind of the GM for Winnebago's Class B and Class C program. And Chris Beanert is in here, but you can't really see him. He's kind of behind the dude in the suit off to the right with also a teal shirt. And they're both very involved with this. So if I call your attention to standing behind the crowd is the van. There's the curved top of the Transit. That's solar panels. Those are solar panels. Now they offered test drives and they had us do this big sign up. I signed up. I haven't heard back. My guess is this is going to be hard to get a hold of for a while. I'm going to try and sneak over tomorrow, see if we get Chris's time to do a quick walkthrough. But they have a really compelling display. Let me zoom in here for you. Really explaining what it is. These are kind of a combination of Winnebago built and Victron built, not Volta, on the electrical system. A really nice display. And if you're really curious about this, if you haven't been here yet, go to Winnebago's website. And down below, it's kind of hidden where the Winnebago Plus camper van adventure wagon information is information about this. There's a video on this. There's quite a bit of info. Nothing about range, all the stuff people really want to know. Price, none of that's available yet. We'll see if we can get some of that tomorrow. But I was just, again, innovation. And this looked way more put together than last year's van, by the way. This is why it's ERV2. Last year's van looks like kind of a last-minute idea. This looks pretty well thought out. And if you listen to the video, the president of Winnebago's motorized division or something like that does all the talking. They have 3 of these vans on the road right now and road testing. So I got to believe they're pretty serious about this. More good news. The Solstice 21B. This is a brand new floor plan from Jayco. If I haven't seen that video, I released that yesterday. It's a little familiar on floor plan, but what was really kind of nice is It was really a rich environment for a Jayco product. Now, maybe that's not saying a lot, I don't know, but it was really well thought out. And it's hard to see in this picture or in the video, but because it's on a transit chassis, which is the highest, tallest interior, they actually kind of redesigned the cabinets to take advantage of a couple extra 3 inches. I looked at my cabinetry when I got into my van after going to that thing, and I'm like, there was a noticeable 3 to 4, maybe even more inches of height rather, on the van. So they didn't just slap in van cabinets from everybody else. They actually made them for this, which is pretty impressive in my book. One of the things that was really cool to me in my eye was, if you look at the driver's seat, they both spin around. There is a fold down table, so you could make a desk and have a lagoon table. It was kind of weirdly, the lagoon mount was to the passenger seat. Don't know how sure that would work, but nonetheless, you could actually have 2 people working, eating up front, and people in the back doing the same thing, which is fairly unusual in the van space. So my hat's off to the Jayco team, and again, doing something different, and I was really pleased by that. Wingamm is at the show this year. We're staying in this van on Sunday night this week, and I am really excited. They're just getting swamped with people. If you haven't seen this before, this is imported from Italy, and it's getting all kinds of inquiries. And the good news is that this is the same unit from last year, but they've taken all this iteration and input, and they've iterated, and now it's the OEC 540.1 that's coming to the U.S., arriving spring 2023, so just in a few months. So these guys are really excited. We've been working really hard to put a really fun event together on Sunday night this week. In fact, we will not be releasing a video. We will be doing YouTube live from this very rig. I'm the first person to stay the night and the first YouTube channel to get access to this rig. So a big hat off for the Wingamm team. How are we doing so far? Okay, that was innovation, right? What do you think? And there's a lot more floor plan changes. The Thor folks, they make 2 different brands, but the same floor plan sold by 2 different RV dealers. I don't quite understand anyway, there was the Rise and the Scope and the Tellaro and the Sequence. It's all kind of the same bands, but I did see at least 2 new floor plans from them, and we have videos coming up about that. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. So good news, lots of innovation. Great news, discount. Let me show you some examples. Now, this has been a crazy year for pricing on RVs. Are you ready for this? And when I say crazy, I mean the MSRP. I just don't get it. I travel in a van full time. Everything I own is in my Travado. So I am not a math major. But let me give you some examples. The good news is the discounts are really deep on the MSRP, which is pretty ridiculous to start with. Okay, ready? Let me zoom in for you. And here we go. I'll start with the adventure vans. This is a Revel. So they're on the left. You can see the MSRP, 216 grand. That's what Winnebago recommends it be sold at. That's manufacturer suggested retail price. Drink of water. And there is show price. So you math majors could do a quick tally on that. That's, let's see, 40,000 to 200. So 60,000? Is that what I'm seeing? Discount right out of the gate before we really get going on the discounts. I mean, that's pretty steep, right? Now if you get that for 150, 140, now you're kind of in the ballpark-ish, I would think. I don't know. But that's the biggest spread I probably have ever seen between MSRP and a show price. Let me give you another example here. This is the Terrain. This is made by Jayco. It's a kind of a Rebel-ish. Look at the MSRP on that. It's above the big red box. This is the 19Y floor plan. Now, it's a little more glossy inside, but what I find a little interesting is that it's 154 grand show price. Winnebago's 160. So you do which one works better for you. It's kind of nice inside. This is what it looks like. It's a little more glossy, a little more polished looking. This one's got the couch in the back, so it's a little different floor plan. Let me show you this, what it looks like in back. So it's got the couch versus the power bed. So a little bit different, but nonetheless. Okay, next one I think is the Sanctuary. This too is a adventure van. This is by Thor. MSRP there. See it struck out, $176,000. Show price $125,000. I don't think I've seen a Sanctuary that price priced that low. As I wander around working with the dealers for Volta, those were usually around 150-ish. So what I'm seeing kind of out of the gate today, these are just a few examples, is some pretty big differences in the discounting. And I just focus on the van. So I'm guessing the towables are in a similar situation. The place was packed with product. In fact, it was so packed with product, the Camping World decided to take the plane out of the air where they've been the last 2 years and bring their stuff down to earth to sell. So thank you, Camping World, for not having that annoying plane buzz over us. We can all give them a thumbs up for that. Okay, a couple more here. How we doing? Let me zoom in for you. This is a non-adventure van. This is, I believe, the Scope. Got a cool floor plan. Kind of a love seat situation. Those pull out to a bed. This is the Sequence. So it's the same type of thing on the different brand. MSRP here, show pricing, $100,000. So again, this is just non-scientific. I'm just looking at the MSRPs are really up there. The show prices are more back down to earth. And yeah, this was the Scope 18M. So Thor gets a little weird. They just have the same van in two different brands for some reason, almost identical. This one's kind of interesting. This is the Scope 18M. You can see the MSRP there on the windshield, $83,000. And I think yeah, this was all the Thor products lined up. So I would say, if you went to the same show 2 years ago, they went way up last year. They're down this year, and they're probably 10 to 15,000 more than they were just in, I'd say, 2 years ago, maybe 3. So that's kind of the good news on the discounts I wanted to share with you. I got a couple more. One second. And this is the Coachmen Nova. We just did a video on this. I love the Nova product. There's the interior. This is the same one we just did a video on. And see the pricing in the window there. So I zoomed in for you. So MSRP by Coachmen, $183,000. So they take, what is that, $60,000 ish off of $50,000. That's kind of where you start negotiating at. So the MSRPs are really lofty, but the good news is the discounts seem to be real. And that's what I wanted to share with you there. So if you're at the show, take some pictures, maybe send them an email. Let's kind of what we should be doing is keeping a record of this show by show, right? Year over year. But I can tell you, this is a very different situation than last year on a very non-scientific survey. All right, let's go next. Supply. The good news is I've talked to a lot of folks. Vans are in very good supply, except for leisure travel vans, some of the pleasure ways. But the American-made stuff is pretty available. Much shorter wait times, lots of inventory on dealer lot. And I saw this on almost every towable, Class A's. I didn't really see this on vans. They had a different badge on some of the vans. The Thor product in particular said ready to ship or something like that. And a lot of these sold signs. These are on leisure travel vans. Leisure travel, sold day of. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Sunshine State RV sold a Nova here, so that's pretty cool. Bottom line, supply is available, prices are pretty good, and things are moving, which is probably pretty great. And it was a zoo in there today. Okay, what do I talk about next? Technology, and then we're going to take a pause and answer some questions. So I was really impressed. I was impressed by this last year, but I'm even more impressed this year. There's a few bright spots last year around technology, but I have some specific things to show you this year. The technology generally comes from electrical systems and control systems. I'll call it that. So let me zoom in here for you. So I saw this in every single Thor product and Jayco product. And this is a Firefly type system. They call it something different, but you control all your RV systems from a touch control panel. One's at the entry sliding door. The other's usually back in the great room bedroom. And I have not seen this in any Winnebago product, with a few exceptions. The Era has something like this, but I was pretty impressed to see, budget-ish Thor and Jayco products with this kind of technology across all their lines, even the least expensive. Coachmen kind of has it in some. I haven't seen it in Winnebago. On Volta side, though, I have been seeing the digital gauge show up. So now Winnebago has now implemented the digital gauge, not the analog one like I have. So that now has been fully implemented across many brands, which is great. Speaking of Volta, you guys ready to see this? I'm going to zoom in here for you. They are big on beta testing, stretching the technology, really prototyping. So this is a class or a fifth wheel. It's like $500,000. It's custom, but you have to look really hard at a couple things. First of all, the solar panels, see the top red arrow? Those are solar panels. There are 10,000 watts of solar on the roof of this rig. It carries 486 gallons of fresh water, but for Volta purposes, it is 10,000 or 100,000 watts of energy stored in their system. And if you want to see, and I took a picture behind the rig, that's a little lake there, see the bottom arrow? They have not plugged this rig in since they arrived at the show. And they're actually trying to get the batteries to discharge so that they could show it discharging, but the solar is working so good, it actually was full. It was the craziest thing. This is what the battery bank looks like. If you're a Volta owner, you're going to recognize that first box. The deal is, though, there's 4 of them. Maybe even 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. There might be 5, actually. The last one by the green hose over there. And this is the gauge inside the vehicle. Now, it was cloudy today, so we actually got to see a discharge. It discharged down to 80%. What they were kind of wrapping their heads around yesterday is they had the air conditioning on, the doors open, and the heated floor on, trying to get more juice extracted out of the batteries than the solar system was putting in. And today was cloudy for the first half of the day, so I'm happy to see it actually got down to 80%. But it's kind of a proof point of the power of a good quality lithium system in a really massive deployment that you can take this thing anywhere, which is kind of the point. It's really a cool rig. All right, speaking of Volta, are you ready for this? Can somebody tell me, let me zoom in here for you. This is the technology side of things, ladies and gentlemen. Can somebody show me where the Volta is on this table? Yeah, what's that thing on the left? That's the thing that we Volta owners love to not talk so nicely about sometimes. That's a gas generator. What in the heck is on the right? Well, if you spray paint your Volta box green, that's pretty much what it would look like. What in the heck am I talking about? Well, I am really kind of excited to say that Volta and Cummins Cummins has been working together on a hybrid system. And what it is, let me back out one. This is the actual battery box. It's about 6,000 watts. The center box is kind of the control box that interfaces between the Volta battery system and the Cummins generator. And they're finding a lot of use cases for this where you don't need this full-fledged lithium system that I'm used to and many of you, but maybe sometimes a generator is appropriate, but sometimes a battery is more appropriate. And the generator puts out about 3,000 watts. I think he said 2,800, something like that. You can actually charge the battery off the generator versus the chassis engine, which could be something really interesting. So the bottom line is Volta is got their tentacles in a lot of different things. And I had a lunch with Jack, just he and me yesterday, and he shared some stuff. I have sworn to secrecy, but it's this kind of stuff that just makes me so excited to be involved with Volta and where this technology is going, this hybrid stuff, high capacity, and changing the RVing experience. Because if you can unplug and go anywhere and have a shore power experience, the freedom it brings you is just off the charts. Okay, a couple more, and then I will take questions. I'm positive. So I just want to talk about this again. This thing is amazing. I hope I can get a test drive of this. My hopes are not great, but maybe I can call in a Winnebago favor. It's really cool looking on the outside. It's really cool looking on the inside. This is where you plug in. You can use like a Tesla charging port type of thing. Don't quote me on that. This is what it looks like on the inside. Again, if you go to Winnebago's website, these pictures are there. There's a great video. So it'll give you a little bit of a taste. We'll see if we can insert Go Small, Live Large into this as they go forward. But I'm really excited about this. Are you ready for this? They have a connected vehicle now. And Wi-Fi is built in. So something I think has been so needed in the RV space is a connected vehicle, everything understood by your in your hands on your device, right? Now it takes getting some of the manufacturers to work together, Truma, and, Coleman, and looking around at something, Norcold, the fridge, whatever. But if everybody's going toward that goal and they can put a flag in innovation around technology, this should not be too far away. So what do you think? If you got something out of that, give us a thumb up. Sure appreciate that. Let's take some questions. Wow, that was a lot going on there. But I'm so excited from this show. Last year, I was just almost let down by the whole thing. And let's just take some of your questions now. But I'm really juiced up. New floor plans, new technologies, real innovation. It's so exciting. And the feeling is very different this year. There's a little trepidation. Are people going to show up? I think today is going to show that, yes, that's not a problem at all. All right, let's see. Let's get some questions in here. So Teresa Frisco T, did the show feel any different with the industry slow down compared to, yes, I would say it's a very different feeling, and a very different feeling at this show than Hershey. This one, I think, is the mothership of the RV shows. The place was packed today. So, and things are getting sold and product is moving out. So it's really great. Hey, Tin Can Carl's in the audience. So there's Brain. She's in Tampa. Oh, maybe you can call in sick. I don't know. Call in sick tomorrow morning, then show up in the afternoon. Come see me at the show. That would be great. Shirley's going through Iowa, looking for some questions. Probably way behind. And so Van Can Do. Did Winnebago Travado 59 GL go back to lowering the bathroom floor and adding another sleeping area in the front? No. What I saw today is same old things. Are you ready for the MSRP on a Travado 59 GL? I think I saw $217,000. Show price was like $150-ish. I mean, I at some point this has got to stop, but nothing new to report that I could see at a glance or talking to the guys on that. I do have a little good news though. I met the new person that's in charge of the Winnebago 59G. Well, he's in charge of a number of the products, but the Travado line product planner, and Chris Beanert, who's the overall B guy, introduced me to him specifically. So I put myself out there to be available to help them think through some of the next version. Thanks for asking. That's what I love about these shows. I mean, it's the van, sure, it's the videos. It wears me out like crazy, but it's the relationships. And even with Cummins, they said, how can we get one of these in your van? I said, supply me with a van, a mattress, and a bucket, and let's just go try it for a weekend. Put me to work. All I know is starting 4 years, full-time travel starting next month. So all I know is this, but I know how critical what this systems enable. So it's the relationships here, really, is what this show is all about. Let's see. Thank you, Roads Life. This guy's a mess. 74% discount for the Rebel. Yeah, see, I think that's great, right? He's saying 28%. 74. So you guys having a math discussion. So here's Mesa Mike. Hey, Scott, cannot wait for you to test run the Wingamm. Did they bring any of the other Model 4 plans to the show? I really dig the 610 model with the pull-down bed and rear permanent bed. Short answer is I'm really excited also. It's the same rig they had here last year, exactly. So this is a European model that everybody saw last year and walked through. The difference is here I'm going to short little videos. It's going to be a series, the Wingamm series, and stay the night in the rig. Now my van's going to be parked next to it because I can't use the toilet because it's actually disabled because it's a showroom model. Like a lot of showroom models you go to, they seal the toilet so people don't accidentally lose their stuff in it. So I'll have to run next door and go potty. But we're going to actually demo the cassette toilet, which I've never done before, so I'm very excited. They do say that some of the other models are coming this year, so stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more conversation with Wingamm as we go forward. Sparks wants to know, is your Wingamm going to stay in the Wingamm with you? No, Wingman. No, they're staying in hotels. I'm staying in the rig, and we're trying to figure out where to go. It's probably going to be their hotel parking lot. Having some logistical stuff here with the fairgrounds. What I've found here is, as this show has gotten more and more popular and more populated, all the list of what you can't do just keeps growing longer and longer for people like me. So I'm not sure we're going to be wingamming yet. Frisco Tea, holy cow, 485 gallons of water. They ran off the gray and black, and it's crazy amounts of water. It's when you have more money than you know what to do with, and you want to haul it off with a semi-truck tractor and be in the mountains for 3 weeks. That's kind of what that rig is meant for. It'd be cool. Why build a mountain house when you can bring your house to the mountain? I don't know. Kimberly, love the agenda. I'm expecting pretty much what your survey said. Good, appreciate that. Love the Volta Hernandez. Thank you. Look for some questions, and otherwise, what's next? We might do Libation Live. I am parched. Yeah, my Mason Mike. That thing is ugly on the outside of the ERV2. Waiting for the camo paint. Yeah, I'm sure it's all for marketing purposes at this point, which totally makes sense. So here's Taurus. Roadtrek Pivot just came out. Have you seen it? Your thoughts? Will you do a video on it? So I'm meeting with Roadtrek in the morning at 8:30 before the show opens, because I'm just going to show off my media credentials. Because I have a media credential, I can actually get in before the gates open by just a little bit. So we're going to get there to the Roadtrek display and make that video, I think, on that very van. Sunshine State RVs is going to help me with that. Again, I just been making new contacts and glad handing old ones, and that's what this show's all about. So stay tuned. We'll be doing that video. And here's Mason Mike. Hey, Van Bro, did you see any of your YouTube coworkers at the show? Russo's, Fit RV. I haven't seen Fit RV yet. They're really into the Echo now. I would say, so I saw Mike and Jennifer Wendland of RV Lifestyle. Literally bumped into them this morning. They don't know who I am. I've tried to introduce myself. They have gazillions of people. I did hang out with Kate and Joe Russo last night at my discreet parking location, and we sipped some bourbon in the van, and saw them today as well. Saw a few other YouTubers, Endless RVing, and I'm trying to think who else. I think that was it. It's kind of not really a dying breed, but I just saw that Story Chasing Amber is now in a house. She's no longer doing full time after 6 years. Probably makes sense. After a while, you get tired of it, but I'm still having a blast. Just starting year 4. So Roads of Life discounts are well and good, but if they up the MSRP to ridiculous prices, look at you, Winnebago, the discount isn't really that great. Your thoughts, Scott? Yeah, I think there just needs to be kind of a rethinking of this. I don't understand running up an MSRP to a van $250,000 when it's probably only worth really. I mean, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. The market is the market. The price is only what the market will pay for it. So whatever the actual sale price is, that's what the price is. So I don't know where this came from. I don't believe in it. I think it artificially inflates things that just is not good for anybody. And if that's how you think, oh, well, I gave you $75,000 off. That wasn't the price to start with, Mr. Dealer. I do a little research here, and I can see the price of this van's $125 to $135. I don't know. I'm not a math major. They didn't ask me. Actually, they did ask me about the new Travato G floor plan, and I gave them all. I got 5 pages of feedback. They didn't take a single one to heart, so they're not listening to me. Sherry, do you think there are more camper vans this year than compared to the last year? I would say in actual vans here, yes, and in van floor plans, yes, and in some differences, yes. I would even say the quality is better this year. Last year, they were, valances were hanging off, gaping holes in the floors. I really haven't seen any obvious manufacturing flaws this year either. A Storyteller van is very different than a Travato, is very different than the entry-level Jayco or something like that. But I'm really pleased this year. I'm just really pleased. And the Winnebago booth, wait till you guys see the video. It's going to be a short video, just kind of a virtual walk around. They did a bang-out job. They really have their marketing team working overtime. So here's David. What's your opinion on fit and finish of these vans? I would say it's better than last year. Last year was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. So either they really ratcheted up, let's get these vans ready, or they're just being better built to start with. So I would say fit and finish. And the one like the Solstice by Jayco, it was really a beautiful van. It was kind of felt like a between an Era, which are really nice, they're kind of glossy, and a Coachmen Beyond, which are really well made. For a Jayco product, that's kind of what I wasn't expecting. So I just think it is better this year. Prices are good, discount, get to a real price, and supplies available, which is really great. Mason Mike, look at this. $20. Save me some of your travel whiskey. We camp out on Scott Watson Lane. Yes, sir. I should have put this up. Maybe I showed you guys last week. I didn't. I counted my bottles. I have 32 bottles of bourbon in my van. So you know where my priorities are. 1/2 of my cabinet is taken up by bourbon, followed by the galley and even the safe under the floor. It's pretty insane. I can't buy any more because I don't have any room. So help me drink it. Let's see. Justin, have you checked out the panoramic RV out of Canada? Great floor plan. The ProMaster and owner will have a floor plan, the Florida van life. We will hope to do a video on that. I've seen one a few years back. They're a very compelling floor plan. They are not here. That one is years. Well, I'm not sure how the availability is, but I have seen one a couple years ago at a roundup in Rancho Cucamonga, California, and it's pretty compelling. And if there's going to be one there, we will be sharing some bourbon to get a video of that. Did I tell you there's going to be 300 vans at this thing? They're probably going to cut this off soon because that's a lot of people. Oh my gosh. Let's see, Justin, we just talked about that. Have you seen Sparks wants to know many 12-volt AC units? Wasn't specifically looking, but no. 12 volts are fairly rare, I would say. It's kind of the usual Dometic or Coleman Mach. The Trumas also are 120 volt. So no, I wasn't looking either. Let's see, a couple more things. You enjoying the show tonight? All right, let's do let me put this up. Let's see what's the next discussion. Yes, let's do this quick because I'm parched. This is a great thing about a van, ladies and gentlemen. It's literally 3 feet away. And if you're the lady looking at me from across the street in your house, please don't call the sheriff. I'm a good guy. All right, ready? Cheers. Just keeping it simple tonight. There's just something about a cold Heineken. Love Heineken. Do you like Heineken? Some people don't like it at all. Heineken's only made one place on earth. It's kind of like bourbon, right? Bourbon's only made one place on earth. That's the distillery. I mean, the Rick House. And it's Heineken always tastes like Heineken wherever you buy it. All right, let's look for some more. What time is it? Well, let's do the song of the week. I think this will be kind of fun, and then we'll do some more questions. I hope you're having fun tonight. I'm fired up, and I'm so exhausted at the same time. Okay, this is a cool song. Let me zoom in here for you. It's an old one. You can tell by the record player, right? And here it is. Leaving Louisiana in the Broad Daylight by Rodney Crowell. Have you heard this song before? If you have, when's the last time you heard this song? This guy goes way back. He was really in that 70s mix of country and Waylon Jennings and the Texas. Guy Clark was a huge influence on this guy. He married Roseanne Cash, was his second wife. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2007. He's got some really good songs. I think he's had 5 songs in the Hot 100 over the years. But spin this up on your music player tonight. It's a real toe tapper. It's a great song. So try that out. Okay, let's look for some more song questions. And excuse me. So Steve is saying here, Sunshine State RVs has a 23 KL for 180 online. That's MSRP, about 20% off MSRP. Really? I'd be kind of surprised by that. All the better you may sell your existing rig in the future. Yeah, the pricing's kind of over the place, and there's a show price versus the price after the show price on opening day versus closing day. I've at the Hershey show, for some of the Roadtreks in particular, they really didn't want to drive these things back to wherever they came from. They were slashing them down as the days went by on the Hershey show. So pricing is very subjective. And I did see on the so the only one that has kind of like this see-through pricing is Storyteller Overland. The Beast mode now is $225,000. Now I can't tell you from a fairly crappy memory, that was about $175 2, maybe 3 years ago. So that's gone up pretty significantly. and all Storytellers are sold at the same price. Excuse me. But they have a very specialized product. It's pretty beastly. Let's see. Kevin wants to know, did you see the Airstream Rangeline thoughts? Kevin, I saw it at the Hershey show back in September. I was the first one to put up a video on it, and it did really good. And the second video was a walkthrough with the product planner for that van. I really liked it for a lot of reasons. I think we're starting to see some of the effects of Heimer, which I think was bought by Thor, was bought by, right? Kind of some of these European influences filtered down into these vans, and the Rangeline went right into that, around the front table, the bed, and everything. I really like it. It needs a lithium system. I would say Volta's in all the other vans, so I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up there. But that would be my only real drawback to that. But a real nice van. I've not been in the one here, so I'm going to go scope that out tomorrow. And I do appreciate you asking. It was a cool van. I just like any van on a ProMaster. Why? Because I don't need the ceiling height, and they're the widest. They're easy to get into. Front wheel drive, so simple. Starting to see the new 2023 outside chassis show up with the inside changes. So that's good news too. Sparks has a question. Manufacturers are unrealistic, and dealers are closer to the people's reality. A highly discounted price integrates the brand image. I would agree with you, and I think I would agree with you. Mason Mike, what are your thoughts on new floor plan innovations? If there are any, even one new one aspect. There were some different ones. You'll see some videos on those, mostly in the Thor product line. I didn't see anything new other than the from Winnebago, other than the Winnebago Plus Adventure Wagon that doesn't have a floor plan. So, but there's some kind of compelling ones. The Solstice by Jayco was pretty cool. I really like when they utilize that front space just a little bit to give it a separate work area. Hey, Neil and Brent. Thanks for sharing the info. Wish we were back east and there to hang with y'all, leaving Oregon and the rain in a few weeks. Hope to catch you in Texas later on. Yes, please. Neil and Brent have a great YouTube channel. They have a Storyteller and did have a Travado. I can't remember. So check them out on YouTube. They do some fun videos for sure. John White, good question. Scott, have you looked into any B plus vans? Anything you like about them? John, I haven't. And other than the Wingamm, which probably will qualify for that, what makes them compelling for a lot of people, I think, the B plus is it's roomier inside. It's wider, it's probably taller, and it's longer. So they use a van chassis, but they put this big fiberglass body on it, largely to give you a little more moving around room, which I would actually appreciate. Maybe a dry bath, so the shower's in one part and the toilet's in the other. But I think what it does mostly is just give people more storage to cram stuff in. And I'm really not into that, unless I'm trying to cram bourbon in. Apparently, I'm out of room. So, but folks like the B plus, the leisure travel vans, the Regency RV style, anything that's like that, the Wingamm would certainly be of that ilk, where it's just more room inside to move around. But I think people, if they really were honest with themselves, it's about spraying more stuff, and that's cool. That's cool. You travel the way you want to travel. I definitely judge way too often on that, because I don't want a bunch of stuff. Wait till you see my video. I'm going to try and get it out this week. It might be next week on my new grill. Mason Mike's going to have a heart attack. But the space, if you can eliminate the need for having the stuff, you don't need that much space. So my opinion, and that's really all it is. So I'm not interested in a B plus for myself, just because, like, the Echo is a beautiful rig, right? But it really doesn't have a lot of moving around room. It's just this big cavernous box. You can load full of stuff. Sparks Guy, anyone building campers on vehicles smaller than ProMaster City or minivan, Chrysler Pacifica? I haven't seen that. Now, there are outfitters. We saw at the Adventure Van Expo, they can kind of turn the pickup bed of a truck into a camper. But no, I have not seen those that you specifically talk about. Teresa, Wingham had an Era with a dry bath a few years ago, branching floor plan. I think it had a small bed though. Yeah, there's a lot of things to like about the Era. They need to put Volt in there, and they need to kind of update it a little bit. But they had some really good things going, and they just, I don't know. Speaking of Era, I think Hank Stranger Palooza did a video on this. Coachmen did a new video. It's called the SRT on a new van. It's kind of the long Sprinter, and it looks like a American Patriot, or who's the other one? Midwest Design, or it's a bunch of captain chairs, a little bit bitty galley, and then a toilet in the back. I'm like, Coachmen, what's up? They're experimenting, and I absolutely have my hat is off for these guys experimenting, putting in the research and development, making the jigs, making the fabrics to put something in, wondering if somebody's going to buy it. They probably do some market research, but still, when you are planning stuff 6 to 12 months out and you put a price on it and stuff's hard to get, that's a lot of different refrigerator brands this time. Some I've never even heard of, because parts have been hard to get, and you roll that thing out there, somebody like me comes along and is like, what the hell is this thing? But at least they're trying stuff new. SRT by Coachmen. David, any thoughts on using a drone? A number of other YouTube channels use them, not allowed to use in show. Yeah, no drones at the show, pretty certain, unless you're with the show's media company. You know, I bought a drone at Costco 3 years ago, opened the box, and that's as far as I got. It's just another thing to learn. I don't know that it really impacts the way I do it, although we're really going to be focusing on places video this year. There's some services that you can buy drone footage of. It's going to be mountains and lakes where I'm probably not going to be. So, you know, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, downtown over with a drone. I don't know. Maybe we can find somebody local. Some of the other YouTubes, yeah, for sure. I just have other fish to fry, but great question. It'd be fun someday. I'd rather learn to play the guitar, to be honest, than flying a drone. Face Mike, show me your new barbecue setup. Maybe you can talk me out of bringing my charcoal broil grill. Yeah, I'm gonna try and record it on Thursday, so tomorrow. I'll see if I can get it up the next few days. It's Otsi, OTSI, an Embassy RV owner showed it to me, and I'm like, I gave him a big bear hug, and his wife is like, she's like, I know, he had to have it. It's pretty expensive, but it folds up to literally an inch. The fuel is either charcoal or wood, and I've been practicing, and it's a game changer. Did I mention it? Fits in 1 inch. It's so cool. Mason Mike, text me, and I'll send you after this a little tiny video I made of it. Wait till you see it, though. It wasn't 64, it was 32. Oh, a B plus. There's a reason to get a B plus. I could be a floating bourbon bar. Oh my gosh, you guys know me too well. I love it. We're going to have such a great time. I am so looking forward to Florida van life. That's literally just a few weeks away. It's going to be great. See, drone, we talked about that. Great questions, always. Van can do, could the Volta system be added to some vans? You know, I would normally say no, but as I'm seeing where Volta's going with this, kind of like what we saw with Cummins, that day is not too far away, and what they released last year was the Volta in a box, a single unit that had the battery, the management system, and it was a plug and play. You literally plugged it into a 30 amp, like your cord for your RV, into the box, and you ran from it. And I can't remember, then you plug into shore power when you get back to shore power. But at this point, they don't really do that. There's an outfitter in the Holland, Michigan area that can do that, but it's kind of expensive, and so it's best to buy one with Volta, or just, I think that day is coming soon, and I wouldn't be surprised. Frisco Tea, thank you very much. We are definitely have a bourbon tasting, and I got some good stuff, let me tell you. We'll start with the good stuff and go to the cheap stuff. So here's Neil and Britt. Drones can be pretty stressful at times for sure. Don't blame you, Scott. Yeah, they crash, and it's just a whole nother learning curve, and I'd rather get better at storytelling on places. I got some really cool ideas. I was talking with Joe and Kate Russo about them last night, and they think they could be really cool ideas. I'd rather put energy there. I don't think B-roll with flying over trees is going to do a whole lot more versus me talking about Lancaster, Pennsylvania. What an awesome experience it is to do it in your van doing urban camping. Let's see, Roads of Life. Okay, we'll go for a few more minutes. It's 8 o'clock. Roads of Life. Not impressed with B-van layouts. Mostly slightly wider hallway, maybe an open. And that's kind of my point, right? It's just, they just kind of took it and like stretched it. And they stretched it. And they put a whole bunch of storage underneath. And if you've been to campgrounds and RV parks and people dragging all this stuff out, I get it. I'm totally judging. And if you're going for a fun weekend and you drag all the stuff out for the kids, then that's you doing you. But I think largely it's just for storage. And some moving around. Now, if you're on the bigger size, doing that in the van's pretty hard. But maybe Travado diets are in the future too. I don't know. So here's Jose. Good to have you here, Jose. I don't buy price. Don't buy now. Price will drop about 6 to 8 months from now. Dodge giving cashbacks. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think we're just starting to see this, and we're seeing it in the towables for sure. They are really big discounts on the towables. That's where there's a glut. I wouldn't say there's a glut in the van market right now, camper vans, but it's going to be interesting to see where things go for this year. I wouldn't say the interest has waned at all, but people are like, I'm not buying into your $70,000 discount and thinking that's a good deal. I don't know. All right, folks, let's see. Maybe just a couple more. I don't see any more. So let's do this. Let's just say thank you. Another What's Up Wednesday. In the can, this is episode 106, I think it was. We got a couple more days of show. Stay tuned to the videos. I'm doing small videos. I think those are more informational. And then when I get to a dealer lot, I'm going to do more in-depth and even some Scott scores. You just can't do big videos at these shows like this because it's so big, so many people. But thank you for watching. Really appreciate that. And tell you, we see you soon. Journey on, and peace be with you. We'll see the next video tomorrow. All right.